The heat wave is nearing the end. Today could be our last heat advisory of this stretch. I'll outline when you'll feel the difference coming up.
Townhome explosion. A man is being treated for serious burns and several neighbors are displaced. The search for the cause is underway.
And seeking reform. A federal agency begins investigative hearings into that deadly midair crash in January. What the families of the victims are demanding.
Yes, today does mark the 6th day in a row with some sort of heat alert that we're facing. Good afternoon to you. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Thanks for joining us. Meteorologist Kat Campbell is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center to let us know when we can expect some relief from this heat. And Kat, the words nearing the end. That's nice to hear.
Oh, absolutely. The weekend should be feeling better. But before we get to that better feeling air, we've got to have the cold front pass first. And this is likely to spark showers and thunderstorms as well over the next couple of days. It's still well to our north for now, so any storms that form today really wouldn't be related to the front. The normal high this time of year, 91. We expect high temperatures to reach the mid-90s tomorrow and then finally backing off into the 80s over the weekend, even into early next week. High temperatures are in the low to mid 80s. It's not going to feel like fall, but it is going to be more comfortable summer weather on the horizon. For today, we expect to get up to 96 in Raleigh, 95 in Cary, 94 Apex, Holly Springs and Garner, 96 in Wake Forest, and 94 in Clayton. It's hot today. Bottom line, 89 the current temperature at RDU. The heat index sitting at 97, 90 with a heat index of 102 in Fayetteville. It already feels like 100 in Goldsboro, and 108 is the current heat index in Clinton. Very, very humid there at the moment. A heat advisory remains in effect through 8 p.m. today for most of our viewing area from the Triangle Point south and east. We'll be watching for heat advisory criteria with a peak heat index between 103 and 108. Today's storm chances about 30%. We may see the bulk of these form in our southern counties. I'll walk you through what to expect over the next 48 hours with growing storm chances on Futurecast coming up.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center following some breaking news out of UNC. They say they are making some budget cuts and they are consolidating roles. This just into the newsroom. The university says they are taking steps to identify operational savings across the university. We also noted that they are cutting financial aid for out-of-state students as well. They say they have identified savings of about $70 million. They recognize each of these decisions comes with true costs. They recognize it's not easy to receive this kind of news, and they are making some very difficult choices. But they say they will be presenting the proposed budget savings to the Board of Trustees during the Budget Committee session later today.
Take you to an incident that happened in Harnett County now. One man is being treated for serious burns after an explosion in a townhome community in Anger. It happened early this morning on South Raleigh Road. The crews are on that scene right now with members of the RPD Hazardous Devices Unit. WRAL's Sean Gallagher is on that scene right now where I am guessing, Sean, there are still a lot of answers. There are questions to be asked here.
Yeah, that's right, Jeff. It's clearly a very active investigation here. As you can tell behind me, there are multiple law enforcement agencies from all over, and they have this police tape up for basically this entire development that you can see here. And they've been here for about 6 hours after this morning's explosion, focused on this house here in the middle of 6 townhomes. You can see the front of the home is kind of bowed out from the explosion. But take a look at this video from Sky 5 from the back side of the house. You can see just how forceful this explosion was. Part of the wall pushed out and the yard littered with broken siding and blinds. Police tell us no gas leaks were detected as part of this explosion, and the Raleigh Bomb Squad was called in to assist. The one man who was injured was found behind the home with bad burns on his arms, but there's no update on his condition. We know at least 3 of these homes were impacted, displacing at least 20 people. We spoke to a husband and wife who live right next door about what they heard and felt this morning.
There were a few quieter booms that I thought honestly somebody was I don't know, maybe hammering or knocking, or I almost thought I should go check the door to see if somebody was knocking on our door. And then there was the really loud one that, shook the house and was kind of oh, something definitely just happened.
I was sleeping when the boom woke me up. The boom is what woke me up around 6:04, 6:05, around there. We didn't really know what it was from, didn't really know what to think of it. We just kind of ran outside. As we came outside, there was a bunch of people, and we saw, all the debris at the house, and that obviously it was an explosion.
And the Bjornbergs tell me that investigators have told them they believe people will be able to get back into their homes by this evening once they make sure everything is structurally sound. And the Bjornbergs also tell me their neighbor moved in within the last couple of weeks, so they don't know much about him, but said that he appears to be very friendly. In Harnett County, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
An hours-long standoff at a Raleigh house involving the SWAT team came to a peaceful ending. A man barricaded himself inside with a knife for hours, and this all played out in a neighborhood off East Millbrook Road, just west of Falls of Neuse Road. Now we want to show you video of the moment the man surrendered to police. They say the man was threatening others in the home with a knife around 4 in the morning. Listen to SWAT teams outside the house demanding him to come outside.
Joe, this is the Raleigh Police SWAT team. Go to the front door with their hands up and empty. Do it now.
And that went on for more than an hour. Police say they arrested the man. No one got hurt. The incident is still under investigation.
One of our top stories this morning has been the major earthquake in Russia and the tsunami that resulted from it. A massive 8.8 magnitude quake was the 6th most powerful ever reported. The good news is there are no reports of deaths or major damage at this time. The quake triggered tsunami warnings for millions of people across the Pacific. Meteorologist Chris Michaels shows us the stages of a tsunami and how that played out in Hawaii overnight.
And the strength of this earthquake was what allowed those tsunami waves to travel so far. This was a magnitude 8.8, the 6th strongest on record and the strongest since one that happened in 2011 in Japan. So when these earthquakes happen below the ocean surface, you get the energy that transfers upward and outward and then can travel hundreds of miles and affect other parts of land. This is the seismic wave, and you can see that traveling all across North America. So it wasn't necessarily felt here, but it was at least detected by some of the seismic networks, even here in North Carolina. These travel the globe, so it's not all that surprising, but this was a very, very strong earthquake. And then you see what those waves do to the water levels. This is at one of the harbors in Hawaii. You can see the normal ebbs and flows. Then you see the rapid rise, the rapid fall in water levels as it draws back and then pushes back on land. Thankfully, at this point in the day, we haven't heard of any major or serious issues on the Hawaiian Islands. But yeah, definitely a very strong earthquake and tsunami that resulted from last night through early today.
And here in the WRAL Live Center, we're also following the latest updates on the tsunami. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem said that the threat of damage from the major tsunami on the U.S. coast has, quote, passed completely. This is a live look in Hawaii right now. Around 10 a.m., tsunami advisory was canceled for some coastal areas of California. Hawaii's alert level was also downgraded to just a tsunami advisory. Waves hitting Japan, where nearly 2 million people were asked to evacuate. No deaths were immediately reported. We're also learning this afternoon that Chile has updated their tsunami warning to the highest alert level right now.
And here's a live look at North Hills in Raleigh. Today, people who live there will learn more about new developments being proposed, and that could include buildings up to 40 stories tall. WRAL's Laura Levine tells us how the developer is sharing those plans with neighbors.
Happening today, the community will get more details about Kane Realty's efforts to build taller towers here in North Hills. The area we're talking about here is between Six Forks and Lassiter Mill, where those tall towers would be built. Here's a better look at the area we're talking about that's in the crosshairs, the intersection of Six Forks and Lassiter Mill. Letters sent to neighbor and nearby residents show the proposed rezoning seeks increases up to 12, 20, and 40 stories here. You may remember Kane trying to do this back in 2021. Larry Helfett with the Midtown Citizens Advisory Council says that this could completely change the landscape of the area.
I don't think anybody is against density. I don't think anybody is really against John Kane for what he's brought to the area. People love the restaurants, they love the retail side of it. What they don't like is building into the sky.
And we did reach out to Kane Realty for comments in regards to specific information about this proposal and the timeline. They tell us we will get more details tonight at the open house. The open house will take place at the Church of the Apostles Fellowship Hall. That's from 5 to 7 p.m. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Raleigh.
This afternoon, we expect to get an update on renovations happening at the Lenovo Center in Raleigh. NC State Athletic Director Boo Corrigan will join the chairs of Hurricane Holdings and Centennial Authority for a news conference at 3 o'clock. The renovations include adding the Lenovo Legend Club, new arena-level bunker suites, and a 300-level view bar. WRAL's Chris Lee will be at today's news conference to learn how the renovations are coming along. Watch our afternoon newscasts for updates.
New details from President Trump about his abrupt falling out with Jeffrey Epstein 2 decades ago. President Trump says Epstein was hiring away employees from Mar-a-Lago, including a young woman who would become a prominent Epstein accuser. This new disclosure surfaced as the president revealed more about why he abruptly cut off his friendship with Epstein 20 years ago. Virginia Giuffre worked at a spa at Trump's club when she was a teenager in the late 90s. She was recruited by Epstein to work for him instead. Giuffre died by suicide in April.
And back here in the WRAL Live Center, President Donald Trump doubling down, saying that there will be no extensions on the tariff deadline, which is August 1st. On social media this morning, the president posted that the deadline will not be extended. This is his post here from Truth Social. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick had said Sunday Trump is still open to conversations with countries following the deadline as several rush to make deals with the U.S. But again, today, doubling down, there will be no extensions to his tariff deadline on August 1st.
Next at noon, questions about the D.C. midair crash 6 months after the collision. What's being asked now by the NTSB?
Also, rocked by a rim. The serious injuries to a California girl after she was hit by a flying tire rim.
Plus, Anger explosion, the Harnett County townhome incident that sent a man to the burn unit.
Coming up next, sea storms moving in with WRAL's exclusive Dual Doppler 5000, sponsored by the WRAL Weather app. Download now for live radar.
It's been 6 months since the deadly midair collision between an Army helicopter and a regional jet near Washington, D.C. All 67 people on both aircraft died. Today, the NTSB launched a 3-day investigative hearing on Capitol Hill. The NTSB will determine whether a malfunctioning altimeter on the Black Hawk may have caused the helicopter to fly higher than expected. The panel is expected to question witnesses and investigators about the actions of the FAA, air traffic controllers, and the Army. The chair addressed the victims' families before hearing testimony.
Please know that we are working diligently to make sure we know what occurred, how it occurred, and to prevent it from ever happening again.
Families of the victims are demanding 7 reforms, including independent investigations of the Federal Aviation Administration. They also want all aircraft to broadcast their positions and see the positions of other aircraft.
People gathered in the heart of New York City to remember the victims of the mass shooting that claimed 4 lives. 27-year-old Julia Hyman was killed on the 33rd floor. Wesley LePatner was an executive at Blackstone, as well as a wife and mother. Alain Etienne, a father, was working security in the lobby, and NYPD officer Diderol Islam was honored with a final salute. The multi-faith prayer vigil gave religious and city leaders, as well as New Yorkers, a chance to come together and grieve. Among the speakers expressing their condolences, Mayor Eric Adams and Governor Kathy Hochul.
A 14-year-old girl from California will miss the start of her freshman year in high school after she was struck in the face by a tire rim. The girl and her mother were driving to a concert when everything changed in the blink of an eye. The mother heard what sounded like an explosion. She turned to her daughter in the passenger seat and saw the metal rim off a tire on top of her. Paramedics rushed her to the hospital, where she spent 9 days being treated. Her mother never left her side.
really happy that she was by my bed every night.
She wants to have like a survival party with like, eyeballs on the cake with the scar down the middle. Just like silly things.
A celebration for sure. The 14-year-old had to undergo several surgeries, including skull reconstruction. She also had liver laceration and internal bleeding.
Still able to smile. A powerful new satellite that'll deliver real-time climate data is headed to the space.
3, 2, 1, 0.
The satellite is called NISAR, and it blasted off this morning from India's southeastern coast. The mission is a collaboration between NASA and the Indian Space Research Organization. NISAR will send data helping to map changes to Earth's surface. The goal is to improve crop management, monitor natural hazards, and help track sea ice and glaciers.
If you think it's intensely hot outside for you, it probably is for your pet as well. Officials with the Wake County Animal Shelter say they have seen a few cases here and there and at Cary Animal Control of dogs being left in hot cars. Puppies, older dogs, and short-nosed dogs like pugs and French bulldogs are most at risk for heat stroke. These are some of the signs that your pet may be experiencing heat stress. They become lethargic, they pant more than normal, or they vomit. Now, if your pet is having a heat stroke, take them to the emergency clinic immediately.
Take your back of your hand, put it on the ground. If you can't keep your hand there for 5 seconds, it's probably going to be too hot for your dog.
And you can walk in shady, grassy areas instead. Also, best to walk early in the morning or in the evening hours to avoid the worst of the heat.
This Friday, we are teaming up to make tails wag and hearts happy with Clear the Shelters. It is back August 1st, that's Friday, all the way through the 31st, giving thousands of pets a second chance at love. From playful pups to cuddly cats, your new companion is waiting. For a list of participating shelters, special adoption events, and how you can help give a pet a second chance, you can visit WRAL.com/shelters.
Our resident dog lover, Kat Campbell, I know will be a part of that, as you have been in the past years.
You know, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy a pet, and that's about as close as you're going to get. It's always fun. My sister got her cat from Clear the Shelters recently, and it's such a fun event. Be sure to check it out. Maybe just go online, do a little scrolling at your local animal shelter that's participating, and see what's available. You never know what may catch your eye. Today, not much on the radar. A 30% chance of a thunderstorm this afternoon. We should see some development here over the next 2 hours in our southern counties. That may end up being the area with the best chance of rain and storms today. But better chances are coming. A cold front is on the way. A cold front is finally on the way. Let me say that again there. And it's going to bring some relief from the heat. This evening, we'll watch for some storms toward the South Carolina line initially. Some of the outflows could help those storms lift to the north later tonight. A bit more of a question mark there as to whether or not anything would make it toward the triangle. But tomorrow morning, we should wake up to more cloud cover to start the day. And then during the afternoon, we'll watch for these storms to fire up again. And there should be more coverage into the evening as the front closes in on us. Something that we need to keep an eye on that could change for your Friday forecast is our high-resolution models, as well as the American model, are more progressive with the front. And because it pushes farther south on Friday, including on this model run, that keeps more of the storms south. However, I wouldn't bank on that right now. Here's the deal. Most of these fronts really slow down as they push through during the summer months, especially because of that warm coastal air that's humid. It just kind of gets those fronts hung up in central North Carolina. So I do think we're going to see greater storm coverage than what that model is showing you. We've kept in our 60% chance of storms. We'll let you know once the new European model is in this afternoon and some new high-res data comes in, whether or not we're able to lower Friday's rain chances. There is still a medium flood risk south of Raleigh on Friday. It's been trimmed a little bit farther to the south. But for now, all is quiet in Apex. A nice partly cloudy day, but hot. 96 the forecast high for Raleigh, 95 in Wilson and Lewisburg, 92 in Siler City this afternoon, 96 in Fayetteville as well as Smithfield, 95 in Sanford. No matter where you are, it is hot out there today. We've got some relief on the horizon, though. 94 tomorrow, still hot, but storm coverage coverage may prevent us from getting to heat advisory criteria. By Friday, 88 with better storm chances continuing Thursday into Friday. Over the weekend, I do want to let you know we'll have some clouds out there this weekend. It's not a sunny, gorgeous weekend, mostly cloudy Saturday, but highs are back in the low to mid 80s, lows dip back into the mid to upper 60s, and we finally break the heat wave.
Yeah, highs in the 80s is gorgeous enough for me. That works.
Oh, take it.
A look at a few of the stories we're working on for our evening news progress report. Today on our News at 4, get your first look at the renovations happening at the Lenovo Center and what will be different when the first puck drops this season.
And keep your carts out at the curb. Raleigh trash and recycling trucks are having trouble finishing their routes in this heat. City workers say it's just one of the challenges they're facing. Their solutions today at 5. Still ahead this noon, Kratom crackdown, a warning from the FDA about a substance they say could cause the next opioid epidemic.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, North Carolina lawmakers say they are sending a mini budget to Governor Josh Stein. Lawmakers gave final approval today to a spending plan that would allow for continued operations at some state institutions. So this bill is intended to fund the more basic functions of state government that are needed since the new fiscal year began earlier this month without a new budget. This mini budget will also fully fund the state pension plan and pump an additional $100 million into the state health plan. You can read more about this at the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com.
Apple may be close to a new deal with a new bank card to back the Apple Card. Now, the Apple Card is currently backed by Goldman Sachs. Apple began talks with JP Morgan Chase in 2023 to replace Goldman as its partner on the Apple Card. Barclays and Synchrony Bank have also spoken with Apple about becoming the company's credit card partner. Cash App is launching a new peer-to-peer payment feature. It allows users to pool money with friends or family to pay for expenses like groceries, restaurant checks, and group gifts. You can create a pool through the payment tab by setting a target amount. Next, you invite contributors through their cash tag or text a link to non-users to pay through Apple or Google Pay.
Townhouse explosion. A man is burned and several neighbors are searching for shelter. We are live with an update on a search for the cause. And problem pouches, why experts are sounding the alarm about nicotine pouches meant to help smokers kick the habit. Here's a look at the winning North Carolina Education Lottery numbers. Heat index values will climb into the hundreds again today. Meteorologist Kat Campbell is tracking a cold front that will finally bring some relief from this heat, but we still have about 2 days left of this, right, Kat?
Right. Today should hopefully be our last heat advisory of the bunch. 89, the current temperature with a heat index of 97 in the Triangle. Clinton, the heat index is already up to 108 there. 100 is what it feels like in Fayetteville as well as Goldsboro. 91, the current temperature in Goldsboro, and it's 90 degrees in Rocky Mount. The heat advisory remains in effect through 8 p.m. today. Almost all of our viewing area is included in the heat advisory. We're also going to watch for a couple of storms to pop up this afternoon. The chance you would see one at your house, about 30%. The bulk of these storms will first fire up in our southern counties this afternoon, and then some of the outflow boundaries could spark some development a little bit to the north, but more uncertainty there. The cold front is coming, though, and that's finally going to bring better rain chances and a drop in temperatures with it. So hopefully that'll help your grass, your gardens. For this afternoon, Futurecast isn't showing much in the way of development until we get a little bit later into the evening hours, and we'll watch some of these spotty showers gradually fade after sunset.
We are continuing to gather new information about an explosion at a townhome. Sky 5 flew over that scene during our 8 o'clock newscast this morning. There's one person inside the townhouse that was heavily damaged. He's being treated for serious burns. WRAL's Sean Gallagher has been talking with investigators and neighbors out there. We've been getting updates quite frequently here. Sean, what's the latest?
Yeah, this investigation clearly very active here behind me. There are agencies from all over the area, including SBI as a part of this investigation, and their focus is on that townhome right in the middle there, where a lot of damage can be seen both on the second floor, the bottom floor, the garage door totally taken off there. And this all happened just on the front, but you can take a look from the back, from Sky 5, the back side of the house, where you can see just how forceful this explosion was. Part of the wall pushed out in the yard, littered with broken siding and blinds. Police tell us no gas leaks detected as part of the explosion, and the Raleigh Bomb Squad was called in to assist with the investigation. And the one man who was injured was found behind the home with bad burns on his arms, but no update on his condition right now and if he's being considered a suspect or not. We know at least 3 homes here were impacted, displacing at least 20 people, and neighbors tell me they heard and felt a very loud boom this morning and then came out to all this destruction. Now, one of the neighbors here tells me that their neighbor, who would be in the house there behind me, moved in just a couple of weeks ago, didn't know much about him, but say he was very friendly. They also tell me investigators let them know as long as everything is structurally sound inside the house, something they continue to monitor here behind me, those people should be able to get back in sometime this evening. In Harnett County, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
Raleigh police are investigating a shooting at a gas station. It happened around 1 this morning at a Sheetz off Chapel Hill Road. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. You can see bullet holes in the 2 cars and some of the evidence markers there. Police say no one was hurt. The shooter has not been arrested. We are working to find out what led to this shooting. Firefighters in Moore County are investigating what caused an RV fire. This happened around 12:30 in the morning on Jackson Road near Lee Road. Crews were able to put out the flames, but the RV was destroyed. No one was inside at the time of the fire.
An herbal stimulant regularly found in smoke shops and convenience stores, but federal health officials say it's an extremely dangerous opioid. It's called 7-0, and you can hear Mark Meredith share a warning with the public before the problem gets out of hand.
It's nicknamed legal morphine, and now the Food and Drug Administration wants the DEA, America's drug enforcement agency, to block a product known as Kratom 7-OH.
7-OH binds to the mu receptor, which means scientifically, by definition, it is an opioid.
Kratom comes from a plant, and in its natural state is about as strong as a light beer. But when concentrated into the 7-OH compound byproduct, experts say it's much more potent and ripe for abuse. Health officials say products with Kratom 7-OH are already easy to find, available in many smoke shops and gas stations, and often marketed as a pain reliever and mood booster.
Ice cream cones. Here's one drink with 7-OH in it.
They're gummy bears. They're bright colors. They're candy flavored.
Over the years, vendors of Kratom say the product works and the dangers are overstated.
Pain relief or getting off of opiate addiction, even we have customers that have used it to move away from antidepressants.
Others say it's not worth the risk. John Harden says his wife took Kratom while recovering from surgery and blames it for her death.
She actually might have thought it was an alternative to get off of that other stuff.
That's why they're going after the companies selling it, saying it's important to get out ahead of a problem to prevent a potential new wave of an opioid epidemic.
This is Mark Meredith reporting, and at least 24 states are now regulating the sale of Kratom. North Carolina is not on that list right now.
Congresswoman Deborah Ross is highlighting how detrimental funding cuts to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, otherwise known as SNAP, will be for North Carolina. Today, Representative Ross toured the Catholic Parish Outreach Food Pantry over on Raleigh Boulevard. She says local pantries have seen a 60% increase in the number of families seeking food assistance. Washington Republicans voted to cut SNAP funding by 20% as part of President Trump's spending bill.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, Department of Veterans Affairs Secretary Doug Collins visited the Fayetteville NC VA Medical Center. This was his first visit to Fayetteville as VA Secretary. This is him speaking at the news conference earlier today. While he was there, he got to see the expansion of the emergency department and the state-of-the-art dental clinic that reduces wait times for veterans, allowing them to receive timely medical attention. The Fayetteville NC VA Dental Clinic recently doubled the number of dental examination rooms from 13 to 26. And while in Fayetteville, Collins also met with veterans and recognized exceptional staff members there for their outstanding service.
Lake dangers, the warning from one family whose young son died after spending time in a freshwater lake.
And keep little kids safe. The pouches that kids may mistake for a treat and can be deadly if they get their hands on them. Our team is working to bring you exclusive stories for coverage you'll find only on WRAL. Visit WRAL.com and search only. Welcome back. You're looking live at RDU Airport. Look at those beautiful big puffy clouds, lots of sunshine, and the heat is on once again. It will feel like the triple digits. You're watching WRAL News, available on Spectrum and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device.
Health experts are warning Americans to use caution when visiting beaches. There's a flesh-eating bacteria out there, formerly known as Vibrio vulnificus. It's found in warm, brackish seawater along coastlines. It can be contracted by eating contaminated shellfish and by ingesting contaminated water while swimming.
Infections with Vibrio bacteria are common during the months of May through October when the water is warmer. They tend to thrive and multiply during that time, especially after hurricanes or if there's been storms or any type of flooding.
People with open wounds need to be careful and should cover any cuts or scrapes with a waterproof bandage. Since 2019, 8 of the 47 cases reported among North Carolina residents have been fatal.
Nicotine pouch sales in the U.S. have skyrocketed in recent years, from 126 million sold in August 2019 to 808 million sold in March of 2022. Now a new study shares how dangerous it is if these products get into little hands. Researchers at Nationwide Children's Hospital found between 2020 and 2023, accidental nicotine pouch ingestion surged over 700% for kids under the age of 6. To keep kids safe, researchers recommend storing the pouches out of sight, preferably somewhere that can be locked.
I also recommend that parents save the poison help number in their phone or post it in a visible place in their home and call right away if you expect a child or loved one has been exposed to a medication or drug product.
Researchers also say avoid using the pouches in front of kids, especially if they look like treats.
Age estimation technology. YouTube is turning to AI to help protect kids on its platform. How an algorithm will determine who is under 18. Also,
that's somebody's grandma, that's someone's mother. I just want to do the right thing and step up.
Do the right thing. 2 men jump into action after spotting a woman mobbed by bees. When natural disasters strike, so do scammers, taking money that was meant for true victims. Artificial intelligence is making that even easier. WRAL Investigates Sarah Kruger is here to explore this unfortunate trend. It's the focus of her investigation that airs tonight at 6. Sarah.
Renee, AI can be used for so many good things and so many bad ones, like producing fake documents and even fake images.
As simple as you think it is to fill out that application, they are complicated. And what happens is the criminals are better at filling out the forms than the legitimate person.
That is Haywood Talcove. It's his job to find fraud. He says scammers register businesses that sometimes are not real, and it is through those businesses that they will then file fraudulent claims.
So you have this horrible dilemma. if you're a government agency. Do you make it hard for somebody to get a benefit? Do you put some controls in place? Or do you let anyone that applies get a benefit?
WRAL Investigates is asking the state what it is doing to protect you all at home. And we will also have some really helpful information about things that you can do individually to make sure you're doing everything you can to protect yourself. Again, look for that story tonight at 6.
Certainly will, Seth. Thank you. NBC News national correspondent Morgan Chesky has covered countless disasters, but when raging floods devastated his hometown of Kerrville, Texas, he described it as if he was witnessing tragedy for the first time. The NBC News digital docs team followed Morgan's reporting as he returned to the Hill Country to share the stories of people he knows and process that devastation. Here's a preview.
This is our living room. Welcome.
High water mark.
Oh, yeah. It's unbelievable. It went up to the ceiling. It went up past the ceiling.
Oh yeah, you can really see it from here. July 3rd, you go to bed, getting ready to celebrate.
Not like the tourists did. You know, they were here to have 4th of July, and they come from the city, and they're so happy to be here, and at 4 a.m. on a holiday. It was rising 27 feet in 45 minutes. The people next door lost 4 souls, right next door.
Your neighbors?
Yes, and they were visiting, and we didn't even know they were there. They're still looking for one of them, searching, searching, searching.
The NBC News digital doc, This Hit Home, is available right now on NBCnews.com. It's one thing to go and cover those, but when you're in your hometown, interviewing your parents and relatives, things like that, it hits home, like
I'll
it
have
says.
to check that out.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
looks really interesting.
It's amazing. We've got a cold front coming in time, right?
Just in time for the weekend.
All right.
Finally, a break from the heat is on the horizon. We'll break the heat wave by Saturday. Friday is going to be more of a transition day for us, but it's coming, still a little ways away from us for now. As we look at our next weather maker, we start to really see storm chances ramping up tomorrow during the afternoon and evening. The front continues to push to the south and east. Here's the thing that we're watching and we're going to watch for on the new model data that comes in this afternoon. If this pushes far enough to the south on Friday, that could limit most of the storms to our southern counties. Some of the models are starting to show that possibility. But from our experience, all that hot, humid air closer to the beach really gets these fronts hung up, so they move slower. Right now, we're still going with about a 60% chance of storms. We're going to look over the new European model especially and have an update for you on WRAL News at 4 for Friday's rain chances. As long as that front stalls to our south, closer to Georgia, we'll be in for a really nice weekend. A lot of clouds, but not hot. That's the key. I think we'll take what we can get at this point. 82 on Saturday, 84 Sunday, mostly cloudy, and just 20% chances for rain this weekend. Those would mainly be closer to the coastal plain. As for the humidity, it does still look like we'll see a drop, maybe not down into the comfy category like the America model was showing, but we see improvements. We go from the tropical category through Friday down to steamy Saturday. The best feeling days will likely come Sunday, perhaps into Monday, with dew points closer to maybe dipping down into the low to mid 60s. I think we'll at least fall into the mid 60s, and that's just going to make it feel like a much better feeling summer day, finally. A live look at Durham today. Beautiful at the DBAP. The Bulls will be back in town here soon. The heat index today peaks between 102 and 108 because of this heat advisory through 8 p.m. A WRAL weather alert day is still in effect. It's our 6th in a row. Currently, the heat index is sitting at 97 in the Triangle, 99 in Wilson, 97 is what it feels like in Roxborough, and 100 for Fayetteville, Irwin, Goldsboro, Southern Pines feeling like 99. 108 though now in Smithfield as well as Clinton. For the next couple of hours, we're likely to see the heat index reach and kind of hover around the triple digits for many of us. And then we get a break from the 90s, 5 days in a row coming up here soon. Tomorrow, temperatures aren't all that different from today, but I think we may end up without a heat advisory tomorrow because of the better coverage of thunderstorms. We are under a medium risk for flooding on Friday in our southern counties, just south of Raleigh, so that's one of the threats that we'll be watching. Early next week, some isolated storms possible mainly in our southeastern counties.
Thank you, Kat. Dismiss the risks. A grandmother attacked by a swarm of bees. Why 2 men did not hesitate to help her. And here's a look at your winning Mega Millions numbers. As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines we're following today. A man is being treated for serious burns after an explosion in a townhome community in Angier. It happened this morning on South Raleigh Road. Members of the Raleigh Police Hazardous Device Unit and bomb squad were on the scene. They say no gas leaks were detected. At least 3 homes are impacted, displacing at least 20 people. Investigators believe people will be able to get back in their homes by this evening.
Today, UNC Chapel Hill announced plans to deal with cuts at the state and federal levels. Chancellor Lee Roberts says the school identified about $70 million in potential savings. This includes cutting administrative staff, eliminating vacant roles, and implementing retirement incentive programs. They will also provide less financial aid to out-of-state students.
Today, North Carolina lawmakers passed stopgap funding while lawmakers negotiate a full state budget. The mini budget, as they've nicknamed it, includes funding to hire more DMV employees, to address state health plan shortfalls, and to create a new government efficiency division. It does not include things like state employee and teacher raises. You can find more details on what they decided on WRAL.com.
YouTube is launching a new age estimation feature to help protect teen users. The AI-powered technology is trained to determine a user's age based on various factors, including types of videos they watch and search for, regardless of the birthday attached to their account. If the technology guesses wrong, users can verify their age with a government ID or credit card.
A grandmother in California is recovering from hundreds of bee stings. It could have been a much different ending had 2 plumbers not witnessed what was happening. The 2 men had just wrapped up a job in the neighborhood when they saw 2 people trying to wave them down. And they were trying to get help for a grandmother who had been napping outdoors and then was attacked by bees. She tried to get away by walking to her car, but was mobbed by the bees.
She spoke to me in Spanish, letting me know that she feels like she's going to faint.
Oh, and video shows him catching her before her head hit the ground. He dragged her away from the bees, tried to swat them away. His partner even sprayed the bees with a fire extinguisher. Later, a fire helicopter arrived and provided a strong wind that was needed to clear out the bees.
Wow.
What an ordeal.
I know. I'm glad she wasn't allergic. Our pet of the day from Cat Angels has a one-of-a-kind swirled coat that is sure to turn heads. 2-year-old Janie is a gorgeous Torbian. Despite her young age, she has a calm, laid-back personality. She's spayed, microchipped, and fully vaccinated. And if you'd like to meet her, you can fill out an application on the Cat Angels website.
Instant cash offers. Many dealers are offering cash for your old car. On WRAL News at 4, we look into these offers and whether there are smarter options.
NBC News Daily is up next on WRAL, your next local update in 30 minutes.
You can get breaking news updates anytime on our WRAL News app. You have a great Wednesday.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.